निवासिनि विष्णुविलासिनि जिष्णुनुते.
This has been going on in my mind for a while, that see, people who are Hindus today, especially lower caste people, they, I think, are the descendants of some of the bravest people in the history of mankind, right? Because what have our ancestors faced? I say especially lower castes, but I don't think it's entirely fair, because all castes faced challenges in different ways. But anyway, our ancestors have faced tigers and cow I mean elephants chasing after them when they were living in caves. They have faced floods without the help of technology or weather predictions. They have faced wars. They have faced famines. They have faced nature in all its wrath. Then they have faced Islamic invasions. They have faced Christian missionaries. All our ancestors have faced at some point in their lives in the last 1 to 3,000 years, okay? Then they have faced Islamic threats. People have called our ancestors names. People have asked our ancestors to become Muslims. People have asked our ancestors to become Christians. They have threatened our ancestors that ban jao Muslim nahi to maar denge, or या फिर बन जाओ क्रिश्चियन तब तो इतना पैसा दे देंगे तुमको. Lower castes have faced this, and even then those lower castes who have remained Hindus are some of the descendants of some of the bravest people on earth. And the descendants of Kshatriyas, I think descendants of Brahmins are also descendants of some of the bravest people, because a lot of the Brahmins were the nobility. A lot of them converted, but most Brahmins had to stand their ground and say that नहीं नहीं, गला काटना है काट दो, हम तो हिंदू रहेंगे, हम तो वेद ही पढ़ेंगे, जो करना है जो उखाड़ना है उखाड़ लो. ऐसे लोगों के descendants हैं हम आज Hindus, okay? And obviously we are probably the only people who can say that we are the descendants who still follow at least that culture in name or in real life, in practice, who follow Hindu customs. We are the only people who have remained that way because our ancestors were so brave. So I think that makes suicide an absolutely morally an unacceptable thing for Hindus, more so than anyone else. I think Hindu kids and Hindu descendants, people who are Hindus today, have absolutely no moral authority, moral right to commit suicide. And I know suicide is just happens. Suicide is an instinctive thought. Suicide is a tendency. But even then, people should really think about it a lot. Okay, all of us Hindus who are watching this live stream, at some point in our lives, we should really think very hard about our ancestors and how they stood up to atrocities and still remained Hindus. And then we should also think about what are the things that we fear most today, which might make us think of suicide. Okay, what are those things which might make us so sad that we might be drawn towards suicide? And we should play that scenario in our heads. We should act that scenario out in our heads and think that, okay, if this girlfriend or boyfriend left me, would I be really that sad? What would that situation be? Let's imagine that situation. Or if I lost this job, would I really give up and commit suicide? After all, suicide is a choice, guys. But at the same time, play out that scenario in your head. But at the same time, remember that what the fuck your ancestors went through. You are definitely not facing anything as tough as the things your ancestors faced. हर इंसान इस दुनिया में जो आज जिंदा है, उनके ancestors ने बहुत अजीबोगरीब चीजें फेस किए हैं. That is true. But Hindus, most of all, who have remained Hindus, they have faced all the things faced by everyone else on earth, and on top of that, they have not fucking converted at the face of threats, at the face of paying jizya taxes, even the lower castes. That's what I'm saying. So their descendants now do not have any justification to commit suicide. Y'all can say that a lot of things have become worse as time has passed on, right? But after all, we have technology and capitalism today in its best possible scenario. Your health may be fucked up because of your bad posture or working from home all the time, or maybe because you are hooked on to games or so much medicines all around, bad food, bad diet, etc. But even then, a lot of it is still up to you and you can still get back on the healthy track. But in terms of comfort, we are today, even a lower middle class or a middle class person today is more comfortable than the biggest comfort faced by any king in the history of our country, right? I am right now more comfortable than what Chandragupta Maurya or Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj faced, right? And while in that situation, do we really have any moral justification to commit suicide? No, we don't, right? What was the biggest comfort Chandragupta Maurya or Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj facing? At night when he was sleeping with that 38-degree, 40-degree heat, maybe two dasis were waving a bit of a fan standing on his both his sides. Chanakya did not face that, obviously, and neither did all the other lower castes. उनको कोई हवा करने वाला भी नहीं था, और आज हम एसी में बैठे हैं जब जी में आ रहा है, कॉफी पी रहे हैं. तो we are having a way better life than any of our ancestors, even the best and most successful of our ancestors. So I think we should keep that in mind. Jaya Jaya He Mahishasura